Ethical Decision-Making Presentation, narrated by Keri Holland, Mercer University. Identify the problem. In an intake session, my 22-year-old client has admitted that she has had thoughts of wanting to kill herself, but is unsure whether she would do it. The client has also admitted to possessing a friend's gun due to a recent string of crime in her neighborhood. The client's mother has accompanied her to the intake session and is in the waiting area. The client doesn't want her mother to know what is going on. What my client has revealed in the intake session presents an ethical and legal dilemma. Beneficence is of utmost importance here, and being proactive in preventing any possible harm that the client could inflict onto herself. Apply the ACA Code of Ethics. Section B2A states, the general requirement that counselors keep information confidential does not apply when disclosure is required to protect clients or identified others from serious and foreseeable harm, or when legal requirements demand that confidential information must be revealed. Georgia Rule 135-7-.03 confidentiality states, where there is clear and imminent danger to the client or others, in which the case the licensee shall take whatever reasonable steps are necessary to protect those at risk, including, but not limited to, warning any identified victims and informing the responsible authorities. Determine the nature and dimensions of the dilemma. The client is new, and it is important to respect her autonomy and freedom of choice to express how she feels. However, the things she has revealed are concerning. As far as justice goes, the client has received unconditional positive regard. In the scope of beneficence, the client has raised my professional concern for her well-being. Respecting my client and keeping her safe is of the highest concern regarding non-maleficence. Some of the information shared could raise a question whether fidelity can be maintained. Determine the nature and dimensions of the dilemma. The client is new, and it is important to respect her autonomy and freedom of choice to express how she feels. However, the things that she has revealed are concerning. As far as justice goes, the client has received unconditional positive regard. In the scope of beneficence, the client has raised my professional concern for her well-being. Respecting my client and keeping her safe is of the highest concern regarding non-maleficence. Some of the information shared could raise a question whether fidelity can be maintained. Quote, clients seek counseling because they believe they will benefit from this service, and society permits the profession to flourish because of the notion that counseling does good for humanity. End quote. Generate potential courses of action. The phrase imminent danger applied to this client's disclosure in the session need not apply. The client has stated that she is unsure whether she would go through with harming herself. She did not state that she was about to do anything or had a plan to harm herself. Creating a safety plan with this client could be beneficial. Encouraging the client to speak with her mother about how she is feeling will be important. Possibly attending a support group would be helpful in easing feelings of isolation. Scheduling regular counseling sessions will be suggested, as well as having a medical evaluation. It will also be suggested that the client returns the gun to its rightful owner, especially with the feelings she is experiencing. Consider the potential consequences of all options and determine a course of action. Creating a safety plan with this client will respect the client's autonomy while also holding the client accountable for her thoughts and actions. The safety plan will consist of important phone numbers and a protocol for the client if she feels suicidal. Encouraging the client to speak with her mother could create tension depending on how close of a relationship they have. A support group could help my client feel less isolated. Scheduling regular counseling sessions will assist the client in expressing her thoughts and emotions. I will suggest the client sees a medical doctor for an evaluation. It would be in the best interest of the client to return the gun, but it could be complicated to broach the subject. Evaluate the selected course of action. In assessing this course of action for justice, it is confirmed that I would treat others the same way in a similar situation. Without the imminent threat of self-harm, this course of action will provide a safety net for the new client. I would be comfortable with this being reported to the press, and this course of action could be referred to another counselor that could be in the same situation. Implement the course of action. Now that options have been considered and risks have been weighed, it is time to approach the client with the thoughts and ideas that have been formulated in this ethical decision-making model. The client will hopefully feel that her autonomy has been respected and that she has a plan should feelings of suicidal ideation occur. The client will be followed up with periodically until the next counseling appointment. Thank you for viewing my PowerPoint presentation.